Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anna Steinfest, and here is my co-host, Dr. Michael Troyer. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Anna, and welcome to all of our listeners. We're pleased to have you with us today.
So today on Small Business Survival Conversations, Season 2, Episode 1, we are going to talk about why you need a mentor as a small business owners. Michael, what do you think?
Well, I think when you're starting out a business, or even as you're partway into a business that's in operation, you think of all the people you have to talk to: a lawyer, an accountant. There's so many different people, but you need someone who's sitting there every now and then, fairly frequently, and helping you think through those challenges that you face, especially the ones that keep you awake at night. And we have advisors, yes, you have consultants, you have coaches, but I think of some of those people dealing with specific topics. Here, you and I are talking about mentors. So they're there to help you address some of the topics that you haven't thought about coming up, some of the issues, some of the challenges. And as our title says, we think you need a mentor.
Absolutely, because as a small business owners, and especially, when you're trying to survive, it doesn't matter what stage you are, whether you're, Michael said, startup or seasoned. When you're going through a tough time, like right now, I am going through a tough time. I need my mentor, and my mentor is shaping me up, because a lot of times you just want to give up and just fly the white flag and say, that's it, I'm done with that. But your mentor is there to give you emotional push and tell you that everything will be okay. You just have to start one step at the time. And these are my recommendations, what you should do. Because a lot of times when you go to your attorney, for example, if you have a situation where you have to use an attorney, they usually will tell us, hey, Anna, what do you want? They're more of a order takers rather than consultants. They can give you advice when they know what you want. And a lot of times, I don't know what I want, because I really, like the business realm is totally different. And that's where the mentor can step in and help you kind of crystallize what you really want.
You've really done a wonderful job, Anna, of just creating this understanding of the difference of a mentor from some of these other people out there who can be of help. On the one hand, you need that encouragement, that support, that emotional connection that says, just keep plugging along. We're going to get this done. We're going to take care of it. Another piece of that is the mentor, to me, can cover a lot more ground. Let's say an attorney's good at legal stuff, yes, but sometimes it's not a legal matter. It's maybe a conflict with an employee, or maybe it's a customer out there that is really bedeviling you. And should you stay with that customer, or should you politely guide them to somebody else? That mentor is a steady and fairly broadly developed individual who has prior business experience, knowledge, depth, and they can answer a lot of questions. And you need them close at hand so you can ask those questions. And so I really think of a mentor is not an employee by any means, but a person close at hand that you can talk to and have real comfort talking to.
And also the mentor has this coach responsibilities also, because what will happen is they will hold you responsible and accountable for all your goals you put together. And what the mentor also will do is they will push you out of your comfort zone, and they will make sure that you're looking and acting and thinking more strategically on your business, which is extremely important, because as a small business owners, we kind of tend to go in and start doing it ourselves all the time. This technician mode we've talked in the past. you should, if you want to grow, if you want to scale up, you have to get out of this technician mode.
Indeed, we can get so caught up in a couple of operational issues, as you're, in my mind, kind of hinting at. And we get so carried away with those that we miss other things that are beginning to happen in front of us that we need to respond to. And there again is the mentor saying, but remember what I told you before, that operations drive out strategy. Have you forgotten that you've got a strategy you're trying to follow here? Is this consistent with it? Or are you in fact changing your strategy? Which do you want, Anna? Let's figure this out now. Which do you want? So on the one hand, I encourage. On the other hand, I hold you accountable for what you told me you want to achieve. That's what you want in a mentor. That's to me, a fairly unique role. There's all kinds of things. One of the neat things is they do bring that outside perspective. So you've just laid out a problem to me. I can ask you a couple of questions, and I'll bet I can get you to rethink the problem and find a solution, because you're challenged to say it a couple more times. This is what I think I'm facing. And by the time you're done explaining to me, you're realizing, oh, no, I didn't really mean that. What I'm really struggling with is, and you present it in a whole new way. That's the power of having to talk to somebody else that you trust, that's going to push you, all those things.
Yes, and you're absolutely correct, Michael. When you're voicing your concern or problem out loud, you start listening to yourself more carefully, and you in fact find your own solution, because the mentor is not there to give you the solution. Yes, they may give you the solution, but they're there just to guide you.
Yes.
To find your own path, because you own your business. It's very unique to you. A lot of times the mentor should not be even in your field. And they will help you just kind of with questions, make sure that, they guide you in the right direction.
I think how often too, someone has said to me, now, if you've got an issue, write it down, it'll clarify it. Well, that's one step, yes. But even better is if I say it to somebody else, then I'm, writing it down gives it a name, but saying it to somebody else is I'm repeating in a sense all you've said. Saying it to somebody else forces me to clarify the way I express it. And in that struggle to get you to understand why I think this is an issue, I'm getting better at explaining the issue, and I'm clarifying the issue in my own mind, and that's valuable. In my work, as a consultant on the outside, I don't usually have to provide any answers at all. They find their answer in the process of talking. That's what a therapist, if you will, kind of what a mentor is a bit of a therapist. And it works great. That's why it's handy to have that person. I think mentors, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely correct. Again, it's you have this emotional guide next to you all the time, just being there. In my opinion, it's like calms you down. Every single time you're in a situation, you're frustrated or you don't know what to do, you just have to call your mentor. It's like a hotline. Survival line. That's what I feel. And especially if you're going through a tough time, it's incredible.
Yes, I have a good friend who just sent over an email a bit ago, and I also think of him as a mentor. He has a more official title than that, but he's really serves people as a mentor. And I often tell clients, especially husbands and wives working together, you need to have one day of the week when you go off and have a cup of coffee for 2 hours. That's when you're working on the business, not in the business, and you're clarifying between the two of you how you see things. But the mentor is another step in that process. That you're not married to the mentor, first of all, so there's not that risk of upsetting somebody. But it is that going off site in a sense, having that cup of coffee, saying, these are the things I feel challenged by. What do you think I should do? And a good mentor will give you a question right back in your face. Well, I want to hear more. I don't fully understand yet. Give me another description of your issue. Boom. You're off and running, clarifying.
And Michael, right now, I think we should be fair and we should give another tip to our listeners. Where do you think they can find a mentor? Because a lot of times, we obviously, I think by now, I hope we convinced you that you need a mentor in your small business. However, right now, if they come back and ask us, but Anna, Michael, where do we find a mentor?
I want someone with some broad knowledge, not just a specific business or a specific industry, but fairly broad knowledge. Maybe they've run 2 or 3 different businesses in different marketplaces. I want someone with more experience certainly than I have. I certainly I don't want to be mentored by friends too, but I want somebody who knows more than I do, who's going to say, "You sure you want to do it that way?" I want someone who I know I can develop a close relationship with, who will challenge me, who will call me out when I'm thinking in a dumb way. And they won't, they may call me dumb or they may just be polite, but either way, I know I'm being tasked to get a little smarter at how I'm thinking this through. I think of other businesses out there that have run a little bit longer. I think I'd be uncomfortable right now with somebody who's a family member. In some cases, if it's a close friend right now, that may be a little too uncomfortable for me or for them. So I'm looking for somebody who's a little more distant than that. I might ask around who of my fellow business owners, who have you talked to that you really like? Who seems sharp out there? And then approach them and say, would you come on board as a mentor to me? And it's not necessarily every hour or 1 hour a week. It might be on call, or it might be, can we get together 2 hours a month or 2 hours every 2 weeks? Let it kind of find its own way. But I hope that helps you to think through who you might look at as a mentor.
Yes, and the other thing is, I know that some of you probably you're concerned, oh, are they going to become my mentor? You know what? We've asked a lot of business owners with very successful companies, haven't they been asked as a mentor? No one has asked them. And a lot of times when you ask people for help, they will help you. I know sometimes we fear with the ask. What is the worst thing can happen? The worst thing can happen is no. However, you will be in the same situation as before. However, a lot of times you will be able to get a mentor. Go to LinkedIn, investigate some companies, go to some of the nonprofit boards, because a lot of times on the nonprofit boards, you have very distinguished and very successful business people there. You can approach them to be your mentor. I know that SCORE provide mentorship program, SBDC provides mentorship and kind of help also. They may become your mentor. Just investigate some organizations in your community and just ask. What we want you to do is just ask.
And you will find that the mentor that you're talking to often is very honored to be asked to play that role. And Anna, well, I've been a mentor for a different business for about 5 years, each a year long, thanks to the good effort and encouragement and cajoling of Anna Steinfest. And I've loved it. It's been a wonderful thing. I don't ask dollars for that particular role. I just enjoy getting to know a business, helping them to get better. So go out and ask.
Exactly.
And you might be surprised.
Yes. So we hope we contributed to your survival today. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our small business survival conversations. We appreciate you being a part of our podcast and look forward to sharing more ideas. We will be back next week with a new topic. Goodbye, everyone.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.